Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, where women share their dreams, struggles and successes, how they were able to persevere despite the fear and create the life they want and deserve. If you're looking for inspiration to move you past where you normally would stop, then this is the show for you. Here's your host, Melissa Banks.
Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm excited you could be with us today. I'm your host, Melissa Banks. Today, we have another amazing woman to share her journey with us and how she was able to keep going despite the circumstances. Today, we have Carolyn Jones. Carolyn is the owner of Elegant Events, Weddings, and Event Planning. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Melissa. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about being here today.
Wonderful. Well, Carolyn, let's just get started and talk about, I know that you started another business in a whole different industry and had a lot of success in that business. When did you know you had a passion for event planning?
Oh, gosh, I think well over 20 years ago, just helping family and friends do things and do events and plan events and put it together. I knew then that I actually wanted to make this my career, and I kind of just stumbled upon it getting started, and I just decided instead of doing it for free, I would turn it into a business and make money off of. So that's what I did.
That's real awesome. I know that a lot of event planners do start by doing things I know for me, for one, I started by just my love for beautiful things, and I was doing it for everybody in the church and the family, all for free, until that light bulb moment happened, and I thought, okay, it's time to make some money, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely get that. I noticed, though, Carolyn, that you didn't stop right there. As you started your business, you continued to get certifications and memberships in different organizations. How important do you feel in your industry is it to be a part of many different associations, and what impact do you think that has on your business success?
Okay, great. I felt it was important for me, Melissa, to get the education because I wanted people to take me serious and to take what I was doing more as a business instead of a hobby. So I did choose to get my certification through Penn & Foster back in 2006. And once I completed that, I did decide to go ahead and this legitimate business and do all the steps that I needed to do to be taken serious with that. And I didn't stop there. I joined a lot of associations, and I constantly do continuing education to stay abreast of what's going on in the industry because people like different things. And when they hire you, they want your input and the best advice you can give them as to making their visions come to life. So I think that's very important for a person to pursue as much education or training that they can in this industry.
I think that's one of the biggest mistakes, Carolyn, that as entrepreneurs that we can make is to stop learning. I believe that you continue to learn no matter how long you've been in business. I've had my business for over 20 years, and I still enroll in programs, and I know that you do too, because I think that is so critical to being able to stay in the moment, being able to meet the client where they are. So I think that's very important. As you've been doing your business, though, Carolyn, what challenges have you faced as a female entrepreneur in a busy industry as event planning? What challenges have you faced, and how were you able to overcome them?
Well, I think the biggest challenge right now is what we're all going through is dealing with the pandemic and the loss of clients during that particular time, and events, being postponed or canceled or redone. So I think that's my biggest challenge right now. But as far as being a black female in this business, it is kind of hard being taken serious sometimes. I think people tend to take a man more serious when it comes to the design work and what we can and can't do. But, I've had to stand my ground and prove that we're just as capable of doing, what the client is paying for.
How do you deal with that when you know that the approach and how they're dealing with you is a little different, would be different if you were a man in the role that you are in? How do you handle that approach with when that circumstance comes up?
Well, I just kind of, show them what I have done. And, I just kind of, really talk to them and ask them to put their trust and faith in me that I can do what I say I'm going to do. I don't try to promise anything to a client that I can't fulfill or that I can't do. I would source it out to another person if I couldn't do it for that client. So I just really kind of sit down and talk with them and give them the assurance and kind of calm their nerves that I can pull off what they're looking for me to do.
Okay, awesome. You mentioned COVID-19 just a few moments ago, Carolyn, and being in the event industry as well as you are, 2020 was a very different year for us, and COVID-19 definitely had an impact on our industry. So your specific business, what specific impact did it have on you, and how were you able to make the changes that you needed to make in order to survive?
Mm-hmm. Okay, when COVID-19 hit, I was in the process of, I had opened a rental company, to rent out items to different people that like to do it themselves, the DIYers. And I had opened that business, and right as COVID hit, I guess I had been in that particular spot for about maybe 6 months when COVID hit, and I had to redirect everything. We shut down. We lost about 6 events that would have happened that very week that our particular state here in Alabama, shut down. And I just had to kind of sit down for a minute. I kind of sat down for a while until we kind of see what was going on, and we just pushed everything back that we could. We were able to pull off a couple of them mid-July, but we just repositioned everything else, and we're actually getting ready to do some of those now that we had pushed off. But, we just had to make the best of it like you and everybody else did, and pray that, this thing will eventually get done so that we can get back on track.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. We basically just, what you did, you had to take a pause, relook at the business, and then push forward with what we were dealing with. I like that you said that you stopped for a moment. You didn't say we quit or we thought about quitting, because when things get really tough and your dreams seem really hard to push forward, oftentimes that is your first thought. But that wasn't your first thought. Your first thought was, let's just pause and let's just see what's going to happen, and then we can move forward. Right, and I like that.
Well, yeah, we not only paused for a minute, Melissa, but I did go ahead and pick back up. And, in the process of all this still going on, the pandemic, we opened a new location. And we're in the process now of renovating that location. And it's been tough because of COVID. A lot of the workers that we had hired out to do certain things, COVID, the mail slowed down as far as getting stuff delivered to us on time. So it has been kind of difficult, and it slowed our grand opening down quite a bit. But we're still in the game here and trying to push forward and make the best of it. But it's a scary time, and I'm not going to tell you that I wasn't fearful of pursuing, this new endeavor, but I've got faith that it's going to be okay. So I just pursued on,
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, and our guest today is Carolyn Jones. She's owner of Elegant Events, Wedding, and Event Planning. Now, Carolyn, you said something really important just then, is that you paused, you waited, you rescheduled stuff, but then you moved forward with another plan to relocate your business. That's a big decision in the middle of the pandemic and the challenges that were already there. And then you still face different challenges. And as I'm sure you're continuing to face some challenges as you prepare the building, you do the changes in the building, and you deal with the COVID-19 and those cases that are coming up. So that says a lot about facing the challenges, pushing through them, because ultimately you will have that wonderful grand opening that we're all are excited and waiting for. So that really says a lot about you and your business and the way you're running your business. You're in a busy industry. The event planning industry is a big industry, and it's an industry that's going through a lot of changes right now. And some of them are really great changes, and some of them open up doors that wasn't open before. But what do you feel makes your business unique to, say, another business similar to yours?
Well, what makes my business unique in my area is because I get the training that it takes to keep clients abreast of what's going on. And I offer things that no other people in my area offer when it comes to decorations and traveling to do their events, and my one-on-one contact with most of all my clients, that we make them feel comfortable. We make it to where they don't have to worry about pick up, clean up, set up, breakdown, or any of that. We do our close connection with them, and that's what they love about Elegant Events.
Yeah, you give that personal touch, and most people, it's about the experience. I say that all the time. We can offer the same thing, but if you're giving your client an experience when they're working with you, and they can walk away and say, my experience with that company was really great, then that's a really great thing. So I'm sure that's really great. Now, I know that we're in 2021. First quarter is over. What changes have you made in your business in 2021 and your approach to new clients as things begin to open back up again?
Well, I mean, I'm sure as you know, a lot of us have had to make changes in our contracts as far as the deal with pandemics and rescheduling and canceling events in case another pandemic happened. So other than contracts and right now the number of people is very important as to what we're doing. That's a change. We definitely trying to keep everybody safe and adhere to what guidelines are still effective, and cleaning after each thing that you do. So those are pretty much the things that I've changed since, trying to reassess and move forward during this time.
Do you feel it's important to have a social media presence? Since most things are digital right now and people are going to social media, do you feel it's really important in your industry to have a social media presence?
I do, Melissa. I'm lacking on a lot of it, but I do believe a social media presence for what we do is great, because that's how a lot of people find you. They want to go to your social media and see what you're doing and what you're posting. And I mean, it's a great tool for us to have, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I think it's, in my opinion, it's essential to your business success. Mm-hmm. Now, it's been mentally and draining. You go through a lot. You wear a lot of hats in the event industry and building the business, and then the designer, and then the planner, and the business person, and you are a wife. So how do you gain encouragement when you need to be motivated or just inspired to push forward? Where do you get your encouragement and motivation?
Oh, gosh, Melissa, when I've gotten to that point, and I have gotten there, I'm not going to tell you I haven't. I have gotten there. What I usually do is when I find a conference or a workshop or a seminar or something that I feel I would be interested in taking, that's where I get my boost from. Hearing other people, tell what they're doing and speak encouraging words as to what, you can do this, you can push forward. That's where I get mine from, because there's been some times that I've hit a burnout for sure. But when I find that right class, I go and I listen to other women in the industry, see what they're doing, and I'm good to go then. I come back more motivated.
Mm-hmm. I understand that, and that works for me. I mean, I do some other things as well, but that definitely gets me excited again. I just believe that when you hear someone and you hear what they're doing in the industry, and it encourages you to say, okay, I can keep pushing forward, and I can see what they're doing, or learn a new technique. I'm taking a class right now that, and I've been in business over 20 years, but it just helps me stay motivated and excited about my business and what I'm going, because I know that if you just keep pushing forward, we're going to get through the difficult times that we're facing as we continue, just keep moving. I think keeping moving is the key. To just not stop.
Just
don't stop
right,
where you are. That's, absolutely. So to give some advice to a female that's wanting to start a business similar to yours, what advice would you give to that person?
Well, I mean, I would definitely tell them to get the proper training, because we all start out wrong sometimes and make our mistakes. And, sometimes those mistakes can be costly. But I would say get the proper training, find the proper mentors, get in the right associations. I'm a member of the ABC Association as well as a few other associations, the Bridal Society, where I became certified through a lot of those, and I'm accredited through the ABC, which being a local network manager for the Mississippi and Alabama chapter. So I would say find somebody that is going to motivate you somewhat, and not that you necessarily need to mimic them, but, follow them and see how they're doing things and get the guidance from them to pursue this the right way, and definitely get you some training. We all say we like to do the decorations, and we started because we have the love for it, and I did as well, but I did want to be taken seriously. I didn't want to run my business like a hobby. I want to run it to where it's profitable for me as well, because you yourself know that things in this industry are not cheap. And it takes money to be in this industry.
Oh, absolutely. You and I both are part of a David Tutera mentorship. How has that impacted? It's been a wonderful experience for me, but I just wonder, how has that been a part of that group been for you over the last several months?
Oh, gosh, it's been great for me, the fact that, they take the time out to mentor us and to show us how they got to the successful area that they are. And it's been very helpful in me changing some things that I'm doing in my whole business. I really love it. Sometimes I get a little busy and I miss one or two, but I try to go back and watch, the videos on them. But they have given some helpful information. And you meet great people, reconnecting with you. You and I first met in the ABC. And we were at the Preston Bailey event. Do you remember that?
Absolutely. I remember that.
And so you get to meet some great people in this industry, people that are doing tremendous things, and that's what I love about it. There's people all over the world in this particular group that we're in, so it's great to me.
I absolutely agree with you. I was excited to see your name pop up. I definitely remember when we met all those years ago, but I definitely remember that. And I agree with you. Being a part of a group like the David Tutera Mentorship gives you insight, not just from David Tutera and Joy themselves, but the other members there to feed into you. And you see what other planners are doing across the world, and that helps you continue to move forward, continue to come up with new ideas for your own business. So I absolutely agree with you on that. Okay, Carolyn. What's next for you and your business? I know that you're in the process of your relocation, but tell us what your plans are.
Well, my plans are to kind of complete some of this renovation so that we can do a little bit of an opening, and we're getting business now. We're doing events now as well. But my next step is to get this renovation to a point to where I can actually open and show people what we are about and what we do. And then from there, I would like to continue to go on in the associations that I'm in. And I'm accredited through ABC. I would like to get my master's through ABC. So that's my next step that I want to work on, completing that through that association.
Well, we wish you all the best in the world, and this has been an amazing conversation, Carolyn. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me,
I wanted to
Melissa.
give you an opportunity to say a few final words to our guests, and then tell them how to stay connected with you.
Okay. Well, the way they can stay connected to me, I have a website, which is www.cfjellegantevents@yahoo.com. At Yahoo is my email, cfjellegantevents.com is the website. We have Instagram page, Elegant Events, as well. What I would say to all those out there that are listening that are interested in this type of industry, it's fun. It's unique in its own way. I mean, the things that we can accomplish and do for clients is very exciting. So I would encourage any of them that's getting into it or considering getting into it, make that move, step out on faith and go for what you want.
Awesome. Again, Carolyn, thank you again for being here today and sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for having me. I enjoyed it.
So did I. And thank you to our audience for listening to another edition of Dream by Design. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, saying all your dreams are possible. Believe in yourself, work hard, and don't quit. Until next time, Thank you for choosing Dream by Design.